Hey guys, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Chloe and I am a women's health and body online coach, and this is my story. So I really wanted to break down my journey for you guys, whether you are currently working with me, whether you're thinking about working with me, or whether I'm totally new to you and this is the first interaction you've ever had with me. I really wanted to go in depth and explain my journey of how I got to this point now, running my business for the last couple of years, working with women all over to really optimize their health and build the body of their dreams. And it wasn't an overnight process. I, like a lot of us, had a very roller coaster ride of a journey. And yeah, I realized that I've never really shared it in depth. So I really want to start way back at the start on my timeline. So growing up, I was a relatively active kid, like most kids, but I grew up competitively dancing. So that in itself, if anyone else has grown up as a dancer, knows that it can be a little bit of a toxic hobby, I guess, to pick up. I loved it. It was my life. I was living and breathing it. And at the time I had full intentions to go down the route of professional dance and make that my career. So I did love it, but there was a very toxic side to it where it was quite appearance focused. It was very much about being the smallest, thinnest version of yourself so you could be that prima ballerina dancer. So yeah, not always the most positive, but I did really love it when I was doing it. So yeah, I did that all through childhood, well into my teens, and unfortunately getting right to the pointy end of that journey, I started to kind of develop some issues with my leg that were really hard to kind of categorize at the time. They couldn't diagnose anything. It was super painful. I wasn't able to dance. I was put in moon boots and did 1,000,001 tests and kind of went through the ringer there. And unfortunately, that whole process did lead to me in the end having to stop dancing and having to kind of give up any hopes and dreams of becoming a professional dancer, which at the time was, yeah, really tough, but like, shit happens for a reason, I always say. And we later found out through this journey of trying to get to the bottom of what was going on, I was then diagnosed with a vascular condition called popliteal entrapment syndrome at about the age of, I think like 17, 16, something like that, which is essentially a vascular condition that I had in my leg where the vein is constricted when the muscle contracts. So there's different kind of, I guess, severities of it. Mine was a really severe case where the vein was getting completely compressed and completely cut off. So there was essentially no blood flow through my leg. It's a major artery that links to the heart and all of that sort of thing. So I had surgery on it. I had months and months of rehab to rebuild strength, to start walking again. I was on crutches for months initially, and it was a really long rehab process. It was something that I learned to manage, I regained from, and I, out the other side of that, entered my HIIT training home ebook kind of workout era. So coming off the back of dancing for years and that being my main source of movement and fitness, I definitely felt really lost, and I knew that, you know, being active was important at the time, but I didn't know what exactly to do. So yeah, ebooks were my go-to, home workouts, lots and lots of HIIT style group fitness classes, trying to really focus on eating clean. I was all about eating as healthy as possible, eating super clean, not having any refined sugar, cutting out gluten, cutting out dairy, and trying to make my nutrition as healthy as it could be. I could never have the real version of things or a piece of chocolate or anything like that. Now, this turned into a very quickly slippery slope of finding a cookie cutter online coaching platform that at the time I signed up to their program, they put me on very low calories without knowing anything about me whatsoever, because I probably put in their little quiz that weight loss was my goal, even though it shouldn't have been my goal. And so yeah, I was put on really low calories. I ate those calories. Out of it, I learnt to fear milk in my coffee. I was putting artificial sweetener drops in everything. I was chasing the lowest calorie version of everything, and I was still trying to eat relatively healthy. Still smashing myself with HIIT, still thinking that I just need to move as much as possible and be as active as possible. And I had no structure, no idea, no plan. This in the end just got me to a point of being really skinny and squishy. I was what you call quote unquote skinny fat. fat. I was skinny, but I wasn't toned. I was kind of skinny and squishy, but I wasn't overweight. I didn't need to lose weight, but I felt puffy all the time. It was this weird kind of no man's land that I ended up in. And I was like, oh, I feel like I worked really hard for this. This isn't really what I, wanted to do. But anyway, I feel like I've lost some weight. So amazing, there we go. After this shortly, I guess maintained that physique for a while because I was still very much in that mindset of fearing eating high calorie foods. My mindset after that was, okay, I was just overweight before because I was clearly eating too much. So now I actually need to eat this low calorie way and on these calories that they gave me for the rest of my life, without realizing that actually that was a calorie deficit. You should not be living on those calories. That should have just been for a certain number of weeks and then you should have reversed out. So as a result, I was trying to maintain this deficit for probably a really long time, yo-yoing in and out of it and trying to maintain these low calories. It was a little while after that, probably about a year later, I finally made the decision that, okay, health has been my hobby for a while. At the time, I didn't realize that I was doing everything wrong. I thought I was really healthy and I was like in the best shape ever. But looking back, I was probably far too restrictive. I had no idea and there were a lot of things wrong. So I made the decision then to be like, okay, I'm currently studying fashion design. That's what I started at university doing. That's what I moved to Melbourne to do. And a year in, I made the decision to transition and study my Bachelor of Nutrition instead. Now, this is something that I guess I had gone back and forth for a while making this decision, and initially I shut it down. I followed my heart. I wanted to do fashion and it was just something that never left me. So yeah, I started studying nutrition, did my degree. Whilst I was studying, I then got a job in a group fitness gym. This was so pivotal in my journey. It was an amazing workplace. It was an incredible boxing gym located in Melbourne. And I was just working front of house there, making smoothies, checking people in whilst I was studying. This kind of snowballed. So in one of my uni breaks, I decided that I was gonna do my PT certification just so I could maybe start doing some PT as a side hustle. I had no real plan for it, but I just wanted to do it. So I did that and my work got wind of it. They offered me a job there as a trainer and I took it. So I was then studying my Bachelor of Nutrition, finishing that off, and then coaching in this boxing gym, running their classes. That was so much fun, loved every second of it. I then was the manager of that gym for a little while and really immersed myself in the whole group fitness space. That then led to various other roles in the group fitness environment. I was then running a Pilates studio for a while as their manager and really kind of in that world. Then after a while, I decided that I was going to start my PT business. So I started that on the side alongside doing my management roles in these gyms. I was doing also personal training. Now, quickly this kind of overtook my world, I would say. And it kind of transitioned into me then deciding to try and take things full time and online. So for a very long time, I was managing gyms and also trying to run my business and kind of get them to coexist. That was very, very challenging until I made the decision to then, go full time in my business, give it my all and pour all of my time and energy into it, which honestly was probably one of the best decisions that I have ever made, because now I'm here and I get to coach women every single day to empower them to become the strongest, fittest, healthiest fucking versions of themselves, to build the bodies that they're chasing and that they're so frustrated by not seeing the results around. And I get to facilitate that journey for them. So after my era of kind of, restriction and becoming the skinny fat version of myself and kind of feeling very lost and confused, I then made the decision to transition and start studying my Bachelor of Nutrition. Now, this was such a catalyst for me in terms of kind of knowing the importance of education and starting to arm myself with that knowledge that was so missing for so long. Off the back of this as well, I decided that I wanted to take things to the next level, that I wasn't happy with my physique. I was feeling like I had no energy. I was feeling also really lost and really confused because I felt like I'd been doing everything right and I'd been following this cookie cutter coaching offer that I kind of invested in that obviously didn't get me the results that I was hoping. So I decided to invest in a coach. And that was absolutely such a pivotal turning point in my journey, because for one, it just ignited my passion for health and fitness more than ever. I learned about myself and my health so much. I learned all of the things that I was doing wrong, that I thought were doing right, that I was doing right, and the penny just dropped. There were so many reasons why I obviously wasn't seeing the progress that I wanted to. My training had no structure. I wasn't lifting heavy enough. I wasn't progressively overloading. I had zero training plan and I wasn't following a block in the gym. I thought that HIIT was the most important thing and that a sweaty session equaled a good session. Whereas in reality, I honestly just was not even taking the right approach. Those HIIT classes were spiking my cortisol, they were leaving me under recovered, and they weren't really helping me progress. So I flipped into structure. I started learning how to fuel myself. I started eating more. I increased my protein, and I focused on actually the science behind the nutrition to, one, optimize my health overall and give me the energy that I was chasing. And then two, also fuel that physique that I wanted so badly. I wanted to feel toned. I didn't want to feel squishy and skinny. And little did I know that I actually needed to build muscle first before even focusing on fat loss, so I could actually give myself that toned appearance that I was chasing. So that coach that I worked with will forever be the best investment that I have ever made in my health, probably even more so than my formal education of, say, my Bachelor of Nutrition and my PT certification, because I feel like going through the process yourself teaches you so much more than you can learn through textbooks and that sort of thing. So yeah, that is my journey. And I guess this is your reminder also that everyone starts somewhere. Like, it's so easy for us to glamorize the people that we see on social media and look at their health, look at their physique, compare habits, look at their routine and say, I wish. And oh, they've got it easy, or they can only achieve that because of genetics or XYZ, whatever it may be. But just know that everyone has a point A, and you are comparing your point A to maybe their point Z. So just know that, yeah, that process is always long. It's always a roller coaster. There's so many ups and downs. We all learn from our mistakes. We all think we're doing the right thing at one point or another before we learn that maybe it's not the best approach. And going through each of those phases does serve its purpose. Now, if you are feeling a little bit like I used to feel, and you're feeling like you're doing everything right, but your body's just not changing, you're not seeing the results that you want, your energy is low, you're feeling squishy, whatever it may be, know that a coach can help you with that. And if you would like some eyes over your current system, you would like to know where those gaps are and what you need to do to actually achieve that result and sustain it, I always am all ears. If you want to book a call and you want to have a chat about coaching and what the ins and outs of that look like, I'm going to leave the link below. You can click it, you can find a time, we can have a bit of a chat about your goals and see how I might be able to help. If you found this helpful, again, like and subscribe. I will see you in the next video.